Good evening. I'm Maurice Jazzetti, the son of the composer Mario Jazzetti. Something very special is going to happen here this evening. Tonight, we're going to take a journey of life through music. The Profile, the Life, and the Faith Across the Notes is a symphonic poem written for piano, orchestra, and chorus. It's in 6 parts, starting from the time we are born, and then continues through each phase of life as we grow older. We're going to experience all the emotions one encounters during their lifetime in this music. If aliens were to come from out of space and wanted to know about the human race, all they'd have to do is listen to this music. Part 1 is a lullaby, and it's titled Nina Nana, and it's all about the experience of having your firstborn child. Then we're going to grow a little bit, and we're going to be into childhood. Part 2 is titled The Bicycle, and this part is all about carefree youth. So we're all going to jump on our bikes in this part and take a carefree bike ride as we pedal away with the beat of the music. Then we're going to grow some more, and we're going to be into our teens. And for the first time in our lives, we're going to experience the emotions of love and romance. Part 3 is titled Sadness of Love. We all know why. In this part, we're going to feel the beat of the heart as it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Then, before we know it, we're graduating from school. Part 4 is titled The Joy of Graduation. It's a time in our life when we feel we can conquer the world. We're so confident our whole life is ahead of us. We want to get out there and do the best we possibly can. We want to get married and start a family. We want to get a great job. We want to make $1 million. We want. We almost feel like we can fly. This part is also known as the butterfly. Then, in just a few blinks of the eye, we're adults. And stark reality hits us. The clock is starting to tick. Part 5 is titled The Tragic Reality of Life, because in life, so many times, despite all of our hard work and efforts, things just fall apart. Whatever the problem, this music was conceived of during World War II. So it's a very intense movement. It starts off slowly, like the calm before the storm, and then it continues to build and to swell. Just like in our own life, sometimes things can build and swell within us, and then it continues and then culminates with the great crescendos of this part 5 into a perfect storm. The Tempest, as it is also known as, which means thunder. And finally, part 6 is a thought and prayer titled Ave Maria. And my father wrote this part when he was a teen. And of the 6 parts, he wrote this one first. And you may wonder, well, why did he write the last part of the symphony first? Well, he never told me why. His sister, my Aunt Amalia, told me why. It was because he was in church one day and with his mother, and soldiers had stormed in and wanted to take him away. He was frightened to death. He thought he was going to die. His mother pleaded with the soldiers to spare him, and they did. And that's how he came upon to write this part to end the symphony in a religious note. Now, Mario Jazzetti was born in 1915, and he passed away in 1986. He started studying the piano at age 5, and at age 9, he gave his first piano recital in public. He then went on to study at the Conservatory of Music in Italy, where he held a scholarship for 6 straight years, and he graduated with the highest points granted by the Commission for Composition in Piano. He was most influenced by the composers of the Romantic period of music history, that period being from, say, the early 1800s to the early 1900s. So you'll see the elements of that bygone era and the similarities of the style in this music, especially the fifth part. Composers such as Rachmaninoff and Tchaikovsky, Chopin, and Liszt. It was Liszt who created the symphonic poem, and the idea of the symphonic poem was for the listener to not only enjoy the melody of the music, but to be inspired to see the music, to visualize the images of the music as it's being performed. And that's what we will hear this evening, a symphonic poem. Now, my father played this music in 1983 as a two-piano version with no orchestra. He was planning, and his dream was to play it the following year with the full orchestra and the chorus. But unfortunately, due to an illness that he had been suffering from, he was never able to play the music again, and that concert never happened. At that time, in 1983, when he played that version, the two-piano, I said to myself, someday this music must be played at Lincoln Center. And 29 years later, it will be, with the orchestra and the chorus. And I'm dedicating this concert to my mother because she's 88 years old, she's sitting right there, and if it wasn't for her support in good times and bad, there would never have been a concert tonight. So thank you, Mom. Let me tell you a little about the performance this evening. I have the distinct honor of presenting to you one of the greatest pianists you'll ever hear in your lifetime. I quote the New York Times, "He is a poet, aristocrat of the keyboard with the profile and carriage of a Renaissance prince," unquote. His name is Francesco Labetta, and he's here this evening to perform for you, along with the fine musicians of the Chelsea Symphony Orchestra. And making her debut is Donata Cucinata, who will sing in part one, the Nina Nana, and Matt Morgan, who will sing in the third part, the Sadness of Love. And last but not least is the chorus. The New York Choral Society will appear in the second part of the concert in the Tragic Reality of Life and the Ave Maria. So I want to thank you all for coming. I hope you enjoy the program. I don't know what else to say. So thanks very much. A baby is about to be born, so it's coming.